We are here in your house sports for the week 11 recap of college football. It's Manny D.
It's your boy Vassos.
Boy, Fat Sam's not joining us right now. He's setting up for the big noon kickoff next Saturday coming to Waco.
He's getting all the biggie bags and the Excedrin headache medicine available for Reggie Bush and for Urban Meyer.
Yes.
He's going to the Sopranos and saying, "Hey, that stuff that happens at the grindhouse, don't let that happen here, Georges."
Not this establishment. This is a family-owned business. What are we going to do? The store-bought, store brand Excedrin or the real Excedrin?
Give him the HEB brand Excedrin.
Yeah. Why not? The Equate. Is that Walmart's Equate?
Yeah, Equate. There you go. Is that Walmart's or is that yeah, that's Walmart's. Yeah, Walmart's.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm not excited as I should be probably for big noon kickoff because they're not here for Baylor, for TCU. So that's the only reason why they're here.
Yeah. Then, like we were trying to say earlier, it's a step down from game day. Mm-hmm. It's like you do notice kind of a shift. It's like game day has all the big guests, whereas college or big noon just kind of gets whatever.
Yeah, the slim pickings.
Yeah, it's like whoever they don't get over at ESPN, we get.
The straight to DVD actors. Pretty much.
They'll probably get Chip and Joanne on there, so that's about it.
God, probably. I'm like, you want to make a splash? Go pull up David Koresh's corpse, and we'll be on it. That's headline right there.
Patrick, what is it? What was it? Damn Baylor's player.
Dennehy.
Dennehy, yeah, there you go.
Man, getting real deep here.
But not in Lake Waco.
No.
For the Brazos.
That's a bad thing, man. You don't see Pat McAfee's not going to jump in the Brazos River. You got to get somebody else from Fox to do that. Like Terry Bradshaw needs to come on out of nowhere and just jump in the Brazos.
Didn't he get sick from doing that?
Yeah. He's like, whatever. But that's
what happens when you jump in the Brazos River. That's a nasty damn river.
Yeah. You shouldn't be sick no more after that.
Yeah.
Oh, never mind. He got sick this year. I forgot.
Yeah. I'll say that kills COVID right there.
Yeah.
No, it doesn't. Please don't demonetize us.
No, right?
Don't cancel us. I'm joking.
We're trying to make you guys. Come on now. On that note, please subscribe and like to our YouTube channel, In Your House Sports. Leave a comment. All that good stuff. In Your House Sports on Facebook as well.
I was listening to the Kevin Nash podcast, just kind of tying back to that. And he was talking about all the things that get them demonetized. He's like, we go through that in like the first 2 minutes of the opening.
Yeah.
So I was like, please, YouTube, please don't do that to us. I was completely joking.
You can't demonetize something that's not monetizing anything.
It's like if I could put in the posting, jumping in the Brazos River does not cure COVID.
We're like, what? But man, week 11. Jeez. I know we say it every week. I know that, but it's still like, damn.
It's like, what else? What else is going to happen?
It felt like yesterday we were giving our, Big 12 preview where we all, unanimously said TCU was going to, win the conference.
Yeah, exactly. Our rebranding of the Big 12.
Yeah, we said TCU versus somebody.
Yeah.
You choose. We need to go back on that like the last season of college football. We need to go back on our picks.
Yeah. I see. I was thinking about doing that, but I was like, you know what? That'll take too much work to pull up. And I was going to do it side by side. Us watch it as we pick and then comment to it.
You'd be like,
how about we do that the first week when there's no games for bowl week? Going into bowl week. That's what we'll do. We'll go back and rewatch that first show and just
that dead week. We'll do that.
Yeah, that dead week. We'll do that preview where they're like, ooh,
yeah,
that was bad. That was a bad call.
Take there. But let's get right into it. Big 12 action, week 11. Started off with West Virginia knocking out Oklahoma. 23-20. Man.
West Virginia. country road, take me home.
I mean, do you blame Oklahoma or do you blame West Virginia? Playing at West Virginia is always a tough task. But
Very
Oklahoma
tough.
just has no identity.
And yeah, you can try to blame the weather because it was pretty bad weather, but you're Oklahoma. You should blow West Virginia off the field.
No matter what.
Exactly. But and they can't use the excuse they've been using that our guys aren't healthy. No, your guys were healthy.
Yeah. And West Virginia was down JT Daniels.
Did he get hurt or did they just pull him?
Oh, I think he got hurt. I think. Don't quote me on it.
I wasn't sure because I know they were talking about how was it Green was his name?
Yeah.
That he came in off the bench and all that other stuff. But good for West Virginia. They needed that win.
They have to win the last 2 games to become bowl eligible. It's possible. Will it? I can't even say. Will it save Neil Brown's job? I don't think so.
I mean, I don't think they're firing me either way, but unless they just get blown off the field the last 2 games, and yeah, I don't think he loses his job yet, especially not the expansion.
So here's a big one. So we'll make the prediction later, but preview to next week, they have Kansas State at home. So
okay, so yeah, they I'll table that for when we get to that later.
So that should be interesting. But Oklahoma, man, I still had kind of high expectations for them coming into the season. I didn't expect them to, be 5-5 right now.
In danger of not being bowl eligible.
Yeah, and it's possible. The last 2 games they have this year, they got Oklahoma State next week coming to Norman, then they can go to Lubbock to face Texas Tech.
Not easy games
at all.
They could be like Texas was last year, just sit on 5 wins for like 6 games straight.
Oh yeah,
go over.
Had his beard on the line.
Yeah,
but just and we can talk about all the talent that transferred out of Oklahoma. Venables getting his team, together as much as he can right now, and trying to find that identity. Dylan Gabriel, of course, quarterback, but he's not going to be the long-term quarterback, obviously.
No.
So they don't have the running game that Oklahoma's had in the past. Obviously, they don't have the defense. I mean, the defense is kind of tapered off a little bit here, but
I mean, have they ever really had a defense?
They haven't had it since he was a defensive coordinator. That championship season.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, that was really the last time they had that dominant defense. And then the years after, they had a pretty good defense. But it seems like when you hit the 2010s,
it just
starts taking off. Yeah.
It was just the mentality. We're just going to score more than everybody else.
Yeah. But 5-5, just
how the mighty have fallen.
Big time. Big time.
And that's not good for them going into the SEC. It's not a good look.
Not good. Recruiting? Not good. He had Oklahoma State defeat Iowa State 20-14. Iowa State goes to 4-6. Oklahoma State 7-3. I mean, what else can you say?
Little Gundy got it done.
Man, you see his stat line. It's 5-12, 103 yards, 1 touchdown, 2 interceptions.
Jesus. How did they? Well, defense, that's how they won.
And that's not saying a lot because their defense is trash this year compared to last season. Yeah. And it shows you how bad Iowa State's offense is.
Yeah. I think we were wrong. This goes back to the preview. I think we missed the boat on these guys.
Yeah, I'll save it for that episode. But I was just when I was watching. What was I watching? It wasn't Baylor. I think I was watching. It was just it was like a couple of weeks ago. I don't think it was like a random ass game. I think it was like Kansas and TCU or somebody. It just a thought popped in my head. I was like, "Yep, missed the boat on a lot of teams." I think I know why. Well, I'll table that for the episode that we do that.
Right.
But with Iowa State, it's a rebuilding year. But damn, tough rebuilding year because they're in most of these games though. That's the thing.
And I guess that's an encouraging sign that they're fighting,
Mm-hmm.
And that they're not getting outclassed. They're not getting blown off the field. But it's still discouraging that, at least for the players, I'm sure it's like, damn, we're in these games and we can't find a way to win.
5 games, I just counted, that they lost by 7 points or less.
Damn. I mean, that's a moral victory, but what do moral victories get you? Nothing.
Exactly. And you flip that around, they'd be 9-1 right now. That's crazy to think about. But it kind of reminds me of Baylor back in 2019 to 2020. In 2019, they were winning those close games. And in 2020, Aranda's first year, they were losing those close games.
Yeah.
So night and day. Okay. Oh, speaking of, Kansas State came in the Waco and just smashed Baylor 31-3.
Just curb stomp Baylor.
It was a tale of two teams. You had Kansas State, who came in like, hey, we're coming.
Yeah.
We're pissed. We should have beat Texas. We're pissed off. We're going to come down here. We're going to whoop your ass. Then you got Baylor, who, in my opinion, I think they overlooked Kansas State. How dumb as that sounds, I honestly think because they were just going through the motions.
We're looking forward to the challenge next week.
Yes, and they did not look as motivated for this game. Like they were motivated against Tech, Oklahoma, those teams. You can just tell how they were just. And this game was like, let's get through this game. We got TCU next week.
Yeah. I think it was just cautious that it's like, okay, let's stay healthy enough to go into TCU next week and beat TCU.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't know. Like,
I mean, things look like they were going to go in Baylor's favor, considering that Martinez. Adrian Martinez went down. What, third drive?
Mm-hmm. Second drive
with a knee injury.
Yeah. And honestly, the defense looked like they were handling him a little bit better than they did Howard.
Yeah.
I mean, the 2 drives that they had, they were on him, and they had him kind of rattled. And that's the thing. Howard's kind of more smooth. Hey, I'm coming here to do my thing. And Martinez has that PTSD from Nebraska. Yeah. You get him rattled, man, he's going to start making mistakes. And I think if he would have stayed in the game, he probably would have had a Spencer Sanders game against Baylor last year.
Yeah, and Howard's a much better passer than Martinez is. Mm-hmm. So you think it's just that the game plan was for the running quarterback and not so much the passing quarterback.
And yeah, the Deuce Vaughn, dude. My God.
He chose yesterday to have a career day.
He chose violence. Big time.
His little man syndrome showed very clearly yesterday.
Yes, it did. It did. And they didn't have an answer for him. Like, you got to double cover that dude somehow, some way. Let somebody else beat you.
Commit a spy to him. Put a safety on him. Don't let don't put him in single coverage with a linebacker
at all. Like it was, I don't know. It just the game plan just didn't look. I don't know what they were looking at honestly, because either the game plan for something and Kansas State just said no, we're going to do this, and Baylor didn't make no adjustments at all, and just Blake Shapen's he's just struggling.
He looks like when it's a spot when he has to make a play throwing the ball, he doesn't seem confident in what he's looking at. But when he's able to just kind of make something out of nothing, it's okay. But when it's the routine and everyone stays in their lane and he can't take off and move to buy time and he just has to read, it's like he doesn't trust his eyes or what he sees.
Yeah, his footwork's horrible. His footwork is horrible. The pass that he threw, so the first drive, I want to say, it was the first drive when they were in the red zone going to score a touchdown. because they were just going.
Yeah.
And he overthrew Josh Cameron. I mean, he was off balance, and he had no reason to be off balance in the pocket, and just overshot and just boom, that was it. I don't know, man.
It's hard to explain what team you saw out there.
Yeah.
I mean, Kansas State has been that consistent team, even in their losses. They've been a consistent team that they play this way, and this is how they, they make adjustments, but they play straight ahead, no excuse type of football.
They don't beat themselves that much.
Right.
And against Texas, they beat themselves.
Yeah.
And they're solid, man. That's the thing. Like, they're solid, and watching them, like, man, this team is just damn solid. And they just came in. They, like I said, that's
execute.
what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're not changing. We're doing our thing. If we change, yeah, we're going to change, but
not that much.
Nah, not that much.
Because I mean, Howard's not a statue back there, but he's not the athlete that Martinez is.
Mm-mm. Yeah, and I just think I don't know. Baylor just wasn't. I don't know what was up with them, man. And Aranda just looked pissed the whole game. Like, he knew, like, our guys are just not into this game. Like, I don't know.
He couldn't figure out the way to motivate them.
No, it's just. So I just think they were overlooking this game. I really do think they were overlooking Kansas State for some stupid reason.
Because, I mean, these two teams play each other, or when they play each other, it's like whoever the top team is, the other team is gunning to knock them out.
Yeah.
Like when Kansas State was number 1, they came to Baylor beat them.
Yeah, Baylor's having a down year that year and beat them.
Yeah. And then when Baylor was riding high and Kansas State came to town, Kansas State beat them.
Yeah. So it's just like, I don't know. For all you Baylor fans out there, too, I'm reading your stupid comments, man. They're ready to fire everybody. My gosh.
Worse than Cowboy fans, I swear.
Oh, man, yes. I hate my fan bases. Horrible. Damn, shut up, man. Like, it's a young team, too. You know what I mean? They're a mature young team. You don't got Petrie and Bernard and Woods and Kalen Barnes, all those big guys in the defense no more. Like, that's gone. Showing.
Yeah.
But damn.
You don't have that strong senior leadership.
No. You got Dylan Doyle, but, can't do it on his own.
It's just one guy. Yeah, you don't have that core of 2 to 3 guys.
Yeah, so I don't know. Just hard game to watch. But, hey, Kansas State did the thing. They beat us straight up.
They did. And it's just like Sam was saying, he was at the game yesterday saying that people were leaving in the third quarter?
Yeah. Beginning
of the third quarter, people were just filing out.
And I'm sure they probably left at halftime, too.
Oh, I'm sure. No, I get it. It's cold, but it wasn't that cold.
No.
It ain't like the game that shut down Floyd Casey. That was cold. That was in the teens.
That was cold.
Yes, I was there. That was in the teens.
Same. I couldn't feel my toes.
I was one of those that left at halftime, but my team was getting beat. My team was getting beat, and I had just gotten over having a fever the day before.
Oh, damn.
So I had bought my ticket on that Thursday and bought it in the student section.
Uh-huh.
So I went with some people I worked with who all went to Baylor. They said, "Oh, you can't wear your UT jacket." Why? You're sitting in the student section. Do you want to get stuff thrown at you? Good point. And yeah, it was. I've never had a runny nose like this ever since or before. I just remember leaving at halftime and just snot was running down my nose like a freaking faucet.
Jeez, oh man.
That's how cold it was, and it was bad. I mean, I had 3 jackets, or a shirt, a long sleeve shirt, a hoodie, and then the jacket on that, and I was still cold.
I just remember my toes feeling like that.
Yeah.
It's just like, I swear they're sticking out. They're not.
Come home and sit in front of the heater for like an hour and a half just to thaw out.
That was bad. The steps were kind of icy too.
Yeah.
Oh man. Then we had Texas Tech defeat Kansas 43-28. Tech 5-5. One win away from bowl eligibility. Kansas 6-4. Hey, Kansas, you done it. You blew your expectations out the water.
Exactly. You're bowl eligible. You're going bowling.
You go 6-6. Hey, nobody saw that coming.
Yeah.
But Tech winning the games that they should be winning.
And Tech almost there. They've almost completed that turnaround.
Mm-hmm. Big time.
Now, are they competing for a championship? No. But again, Tech is another one of those teams that who saw that coming?
Exactly.
You would hope.
Yeah. Because we saw, like, hey, down the line, yeah, they're going to be, pushing. Because I don't even think we got them into a bowl game this year, I don't think. But we said down the line, they're going to push 7 wins. Tech can be a consistent 7-8 win team every year, and then they'll have that spike where they might win 10 games. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So they'll take that in Lubbock, I think.
That, and they've got the staff in place now to promote that and to create that kind of discipline and atmosphere.
Yeah. And he's going to recruit West Texas.
Yeah.
Big time. And he can pull from the Metroplex area.
He can pull from the Austin, the Valley, and all that.
He can pull Texas because he's McGuire. Yeah. He can do his thing, But Kansas 6-4, like we said, man, they blew expectations out the water. Big bad Kansas.
Big bad Kansas. Might have to give him a new nickname after this season.
We have to find a new one for them.
Yeah.
Hopefully Hoyler's still in there. He was 17 of 28, 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. He's doing his thing.
I think he's playing with house money because I don't think anybody, when he came in and had to cover for Daniels, I don't think anybody expected him to be anything special.
No. They looked at him as, oh, you're Bean from Kansas of 2 years ago.
Yeah. Just a placeholder.
That's all you are. But, hey, Kansas State and Kansas got some good backups, I'll tell you that much.
Yeah.
And then the nightcap.
Speaking of that, I wish we had a good backup.
Stupid TCU win. 17-10. Man, another frustrating game to watch.
Yeah, very frustrating. If I had hair, I probably would have pulled it out.
Start pulling your beard.
Oh, dude, I literally just had to put. I had my jacket on, so I just literally had to put my hands in my pockets of the jacket. But Ewers has looked off this entire season. Mm-hmm. He was off that first game of the year. He was just a little bit. His timing was just a little off. And then, of course, right when he kind of starts getting it right, towards the end of that first game when he got pulled, when they pulled all the first strings guys out, looked like he was kind of starting to feel it just a little bit. And then, of course, he comes into that Alabama game. Boom. It's like he got the feel for it right away. Okay, cool, we're in. Then he gets hurt. And he comes back against Oklahoma. And he still looked a little bit off. He was still off again. But it wasn't as noticeable because the run game was working.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, big time.
And everything that they dialed up seemed to work. But ever since then, he's just looked, when he has to make a play downfield in the passing game, he's just off. He's got that deer in headlights look like, is that open? I don't know if that's open. Is it open? Yeah, I think it's open. I'm going to throw it.
It really showed in the Oklahoma State game how bad he was off.
Yeah. And you can tell it's starting to wear on Worthy. He's just like,
yeah,
dude, what are you doing? Like, how are you missing me? I am wide open.
And then Robinson as well. We talked about the play last night with Bijan, going down sideline wide open.
Wide open, and he didn't trust what he saw. He made up his mind this is where he was going to go and never even looked up at him.
Because I watched a couple of Texas games, from start to finish, and obviously I didn't watch them start to finish. But it seems like you get pressure on him, that's it.
Yeah,
okay, he doesn't move out the pocket really well.
He can move, but he's not.
Yeah,
a natural athlete.
And you can tell.
Yeah, Card looked more of a natural athlete than he does, and that's not saying a whole lot.
TCU's defense, man, okay. We admitted it coming into the season. We did not have them on the radar as one of these top teams. We were like, whatever, right?
I mean, I had them in the middle.
Yeah,
I'll take the W.
More or less, y'all might be there. Who knows?
Yeah.
But man,
But at the top, no, definitely
no.
didn't see that one.
But their defense is physical. They're everywhere. Like freaking Hodges Thomason, dude,
Mm-hmm.
goes up against. He don't care. He reminds me. He doesn't remind me of Tyrann Mathieu, but he's just that type of dog. Like I'm in it. What's up?
Yeah.
Who wants some? Right?
You may beat me one or two
Yeah.
times, but guess what? I'm gonna be in your face the whole rest of the game.
And
You
he
better
was like
make those worth it.
that defensive line. Oh my
Mhm.
gosh, they were getting pressure. Like, and I haven't really watched TCU either play, but just watching last night, yeah,
That front seven had their way with our offensive line. They frustrated our running backs because our running backs. I'll say this: we had more success running with Johnson,
Yeah.
than with Robinson. But there were holes there for Robinson. But I don't know if it's just that he had it in his mind that, hey, this is where the play usually is. I'm going to stick to this. When he had huge cutback lanes. But I don't know if that was just, hey, I've got to make this play. I know it's normally here, or this is where where the hole pops. And maybe it's just one of those things that he put too much pressure on himself.
Yeah. It's kind of like, Nick Saban said this, I think after their loss against Tennessee, where he talked about his players not trusting the process, but to focus on the outcome.
Mm-hmm.
And I go back to the Baylor game and then this game. You talked about it too, how much was riding on these games. And you got two teams, Baylor and Texas, who were too focused on the outcome and not focusing on execution.
Right.
You said there was plays that, yours could have made, plays that were drawn up. I was like, well, maybe it's the coaching. But you say, hey, no, they had some plays drawn up. He just didn't execute them.
Yeah.
There for him. And you got two quarterbacks that are just second guessing themselves.
They're seeing ghosts out there when they ain't there.
Yeah. And it's just like, man, what are y'all, did the injuries affect them? I don't know.
And it could be. It could be that maybe they got phantom injuries,
Yeah. And for TCU, Duggan didn't have a superb game.
No.
God, that next to last possession, the fumble tackle.
Man.
That was wild.
That was wild. I mean, that was the only reason this game was. I mean, granted, both defenses played their asses off.
Mm-hmm.
Texas's defense is the only reason that game was even close. The defense put up more points than the offense.
Yeah, that's bad.
That is very and the thing is, Texas had the ball down near the red zone twice.
Yeah.
Came away with 0 points.
Yeah, the starting position for both teams was horrible. Horrible.
Well, yeah. Texas, the starting field position was terrible. They were like within the 20 and back. TCU's was at like the 40 to 45, and they weren't moving the ball at all.
Yeah. Duggan was 19 of 29, 124 yards, 1 touchdown. And Quentin Johnson made the big catch to seal the deal up towards the end. How do you lose that guy too?
Exactly.
I don't know, man. But yeah, it was just a weird night. Texas 6-4, TCU 10-0, man.
You know what it is? I think it's not Quinn Ewers. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna put that out there. I don't think it was Quinn Ewers out there. I think it was Adam Cole, baby.
He's trying to get something done out of his concussion issues.
He said, if Tony won't start me, I'll go back to school.
I'll float around.
I tried out for the Bengals. That didn't work too well. People spotted me.
He took a step down. Now he's going to leave Texas and go to UTEP.
Yeah.
Then I mentioned too about Ewers' helmet, dude. Is it too tight? Is it too tight for him, man? Because
could be too tight. The blood circulation does look like he has trouble. His face is
it's bad.
Pretty puffy and red.
I know. I'm like, dude, is he all right? Man.
Maybe you got to trim the mullet a little bit, thin it out.
We'll get back to the Big 12 to do our preview for next week in a minute. Look over some top 25 games. I just call me a hater. You know, USC won 55-17. They're 9-1. I don't care.
It's USC. USC has lost that prestige to me in my eyes. And as far as I think in the college football hierarchy, they've lost that whatever they had, that mystique they had with the Reggie Bush and the Matt Leinart, all with that whole group. And that was what, 2006?
When it pretty much ended.
When it pretty much just fell off the map. Because you had what? Who was it John David Booty or was he at Bama?
John David Booty.
That was you had him who he had to fill in and just never quite lived up to that expectation.
Yeah.
And nobody really has gotten close since then.
And their defense too, back in the early 2000s. Remember what was his name? Ray Maluga.
Yeah, that was a bad dude.
And what was the safety? Was it Sean Mays? The safety number 2.
I think Mays was number 8. I think no. That was Jarrett. Never mind. Jarrett was the receiver at number 8. I think so. Mays, yeah.
Right?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, that defense.
Man. They had 5-star players all over the field.
Man, I just loved it. But Lincoln Riley's going to bring the whole, the glitz, the glamour, if they bring a defense with them, okay, maybe. But if you're just going to ride on the offense, then no.
And not again, not to be a hater, but it's freaking Colorado.
Yeah.
It's Colorado who still has yet to win a game this year, right?
They're 1-9.
No, they won 1-9. Okay, so they're 1-9. First, I took myself out for a second. Sorry,
he got so mad about Colorado.
I paused. They kicked me out. I'm sorry.
I stood silent for 5 seconds. I was like, "Oh, is this a rip?" Well, yeah, I don't know. I just don't see it. Because what's going to happen? Not this year, but maybe next year, 2 years ago, and 2 years later, USC is going to sneak in the playoff and just get whooped, just like Lincoln Riley's Oklahoma team.
Yeah, I mean, what do you expect? Same guy. And he brought pretty much the same players.
Yeah.
Especially the head player, the number one, I don't want to say recruit, but
transfer portal guy.
The number one transfer portal, the number one sought after transfer in America. How about that?
And they're still trying to get him on that Heisman list, man. Gosh.
I don't know if ESPN will get him to New York. Now, whether he'll win it or not, that's another story.
Yeah. And if he wins it,
if he's at number 5, they'll find a way to bring all 5.
We got to include him. He's from the West Coast.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Then you had number 2, Ohio State defeat Indiana 56-14. Ohio State 10-0.
Did Shane McMahon's son get in the game?
I forgot about it. He plays for Indiana, huh?
Yeah, I don't know. That just came to mind when I saw.
That's right.
When I saw the logo of Indiana.
Then you had number 5 Tennessee bouncing back and beating Missouri 66-24. They were pissed off.
They took out all their frustration from that Georgia game on Missouri.
Missouri thought they're like, you know what? We gave Georgia a run for the money. Say, nah, bro, we ain't doing that over here.
Hold on. No. You don't need to hold our beer. We ain't drinking it yet.
724 yards total offense for Tennessee.
This was the game to get Hooker back at top of that Heisman hunt.
Yeah. LSU beats Arkansas 13-10. You can say, they barely beat Arkansas. This is a rivalry game. This is going to be one of those games. LSU 8-2. They clinched a spot in the SEC championship game, just like we called it in the beginning of the year. Yeah, right. We did.
My family clinched a playoff or a championship berth in my first season, and I didn't even need to write Lou Holtz a letter back.
Hey,
I called Les Miles, but he didn't answer.
props. Gotta give them props because we thought too after that Florida State loss in the beginning of the year, which is looking like a good loss, that this season's going to be a long one.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, for the SEC West.
He's like, we on the comeback, baby. We on the comeback.
Man,
what's going to happen at the end of the year? We're going to have a Scooby-Doo ending. Brian Kelly's going to take off a mask, and it's going to be Ed Orgeron underneath. Hey, go Tigers, yeah.
Well, Arkansas too, man. They were just all up on Arkansas at the beginning of the season, hyping them up, and they're 5-5.
Yeah. But I mean, they got on that late roll last year where they looked like they were. I mean, they started out hot, then they played Georgia, and then they kind of dipped for a couple games, and then came back up towards bowl season.
But unless you guys watch out, they got UAB next week at home, so
Trap game.
You never know.
That would be fitting. Yeah,
and they'll still be in the SEC championship.
Yeah, they'll still be in there.
It don't matter. Man, you talk about teams that I'm just, I don't know why. I think because I didn't care about the movie Rudy. But Notre Dame won 35-32. Hey, Notre Dame, they're coming on.
They tried to give that game away yesterday.
Big time.
They thought the game was over at halftime, and good old boys down there at the Navy decided to keep on going.
Yeah. It was
Shout out Josiah.
Oh, yeah, Josiah, big time. Shout out. But they were down 35-13 at half and scored 19 points in the second half.
Yeah, you know that conversation at the end of the game with Marcus Freeman and what is Navy's head coach's name?
Oh gosh, yeah.
Is
it like Ken? I love something, right?
Yeah. Okay, yeah. That guy.
Yeah.
I wanted to say what the hell was the other guy? The guy that used to coach Georgia Tech, Paul
Pasconi.
Yeah, I think so. They went to Navy, and then I guess he left Navy.
Oh, Paul Johnson.
Yes. Run the wishbone.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was thinking it was him first. That was the first name that came out. I was like, no, that's not him. That was an old white guy. But yeah, he probably came in and said, hey, I tried to give you that game.
All right. You didn't take it, so here we are.
Yeah.
But Notre Dame 7-3. They got Boston College and then USC left, so they can very well go 9-3, which would be good for Marcus Freeman for his first season. Because the same thing with them, first games of the year, like it's over. They lost to Marshall.
They were ready to fire him.
Yeah.
They were calling for his head over there, and crap, I forgot the name of the damn town.
South Bend.
South Bend. I was wanting to say Andover. I'm like, no, wrong place.
And they played Ohio State tough for the first 3 quarters of that game. Remember that? But looking back at their schedule too, they lost to Ohio State by 11, which is hey, a loss is lost with them. But they lost to Marshall by 5, and then they lost to Stanford by 2. Very well could be 9-1 right now.
Yeah.
But like I said, no moral victories here. But hey, they have a 9-win season. That's good for Freeman and company.
Exactly. Even an 8-win season. The fact that they're bowl eligible after that start, I'd take that as a win.
Definitely.
And I'm sure the TV networks are looking at that as a win.
We got it. The Big Ten too. Like, we're still gonna try to go get them.
Yeah.
Then you had Purdue, man, beat Illinois 31-24. I was reading this stat that Purdue's still alive in the Big Ten West. I'm like, what?
I think they're number 1 in the Big Ten West.
They are. They hold the tiebreaker against Illinois.
I think all they got to do is win one more game and they're in.
You talk about a lopsided division.
When all of your records are 6-4, 6-3.
The Big 12 over there, man.
I know, right?
And this is why I'm saying the Big Ten. I feel like it's just too overhyped, in my opinion.
because there's big disparity between the top teams, which are all seemingly in one conference or one division, and then you've got everybody else.
Yeah. All you guys, Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
You know, in years past, you've had Michigan State, but
Mm-hmm.
which is are they in the West or are they in the East
They're in the East.
with Ohio State and Michigan?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're too busy trying to, get on Warstar.
Right.
But it's just real lopsided.
There definitely needs to be some realignment once they bring in those other teams.
Yeah. Yeah. UNC. Just thinking like we're gonna put them at. We're gonna put them in the West. We'll put UCLA on the East. What? Oh man, Vanderbilt.
The streak is over.
They snapped the freaking 26 game SEC losing streak, upsetting number 24 Kentucky 24-21. Talk about fall from grace, man, in Kentucky.
They had all that hype, but it seems like once they start playing the teams that were good, got exposed.
Big time. And then Vanderbilt. And they lose at home to Vanderbilt.
That's just the icing on the cake right there. The cherry on top of this failed Sunday.
Just horrible.
Yeah.
Vanderbilt has Florida and Kentucky, Florida and Tennessee left, so that bowl eligibility might not happen.
Yeah, may not.
Yeah, not confident about that. But Kentucky's got Georgia at home next, and then they got Louisville at home as well. So could very well finish 6-6.
As long as they finish bowl eligible, that's all that matters.
Man, that's. Oof. I mean, but what would your expectations be at Kentucky football? You know what I mean? Not 6 wins a year. I figure no, you got to at least get 8 and 9, especially now that you're kind of creeping up every year.
Yeah, I would say 7. I'd say 7 is your floor that you would expect.
Yeah. But not losing to Vanderbilt.
Definitely not Vanderbilt. In football of all.
Yeah.
Maybe, definitely in baseball, yes.
Yeah, that's a given. Like, yeah, that's fine.
Yeah. Basketball,
No. Especially on that stage they have.
Yeah.
Then you had number 3 Michigan defeat Nebraska 34-3. Man, you talk about hit of the night. The crotch hit.
Oh,
man.
You always got to protect the McNuggets.
The little Huskers.
Robert Griffin was like, man, I had a whole list of things to say, and he just, I'm not going to say it.
He's like, it ain't happening.
He was the perfect person to be on the call for that, and I'm sure that he had his producers in here like, don't.
Stop. Just Disney. Stop. But, hey, whatever, Michigan wins. Then you had number 9 Alabama defeat number 11 Ole Miss 30-24. You almost had them, Ole Miss. You had them.
Lane Kiffin is like, ooh, got a lot of humble pie to go eat.
Yeah, he does. So Ole Miss goes to 8-2. Alabama 8-2. The sky's falling in Tuscaloosa 8-2.
They're not in the SEC championship in the West.
Man, it's like, oh my God, what are we going to do now?
Right.
But the question, okay, so here's the question. At best, what bowl game does Alabama end up having? Because LSU wins out. If they lose to Georgia, right? They'll be in the Sugar Bowl. Where Alabama go?
I would think they at least somehow they'll find a way to sneak them into a New Year's Six bowl. I have a feeling they're going to bump some team to put Alabama in.
Yeah.
They're going to buck the norm of the teams that usually get invited, and they're just going to they'll find a way to put them in somewhere in a New Year's Six bowl.
Put them against Notre Dame.
Probably.
But 8-2, man. It's weird to see.
Hey, give us Bama one more time.
No. Neutral field be a big difference.
Yeah.
Then you had Clemson beat Louisville 31-16. Boy, they were ready to drop Clemson down all the way to number 10 when they lost that game.
But Clemson went not so fast, my friend.
Yeah. We're still here. Yeah, you'll probably get an Alabama-Clemson matchup, probably.
Probably. Yeah, I can see that.
Yep, Penn State shut out Maryland 30-0. Penn State 8-2. Man, you talk about prime time. We asked why Boston College was prime time that one time against Clemson. This is why. NC State 21-20.
I mean,
NC State too, man. They're like always just right there. And then just drop something stupid like this.
they make a bone. They're the Indianapolis Colts.
Yeah, that's who they are.
All you got to do is beat the Jaguars, and you don't.
You mess it up for everybody.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, Boston College, man. You lose oh my gosh, that's ugly.
Yeah, you shouldn't be ranked after that.
No, you should be serve a, you get the targeting call. You got to, if you do it like in the second half of the game, you're out for the next game for the first half. That's what should happen to NC State. You know what? You're out of the top 25 for at least half of the next season. For losing to Boston College.
I don't care how good you are.
Yeah.
You know what? You're down 21-0. The start of the whole rest of your next game.
That's it. You're done. Oh, man. And he had a big matchup here. Like, seriously, yeah, number 22 UCF against number 17 Tulane. UCF wins 38-31. They go to 8-2. No one's talking about UCF, really.
No. And that's good for them coming to the Big 12.
Yeah.
And I didn't even know Tulane was that highly ranked.
Yeah.
But they had
Kansas State.
That's right. They had a horrible uniform combination. Did you see that?
Yeah, it was bad.
It was bad. It's like, why? Why those two colors?
They just, I don't know. But Tulane, no one's talking about Tulane. Maybe I'm wrong, but expansion-wise.
Outside of New York or, Louisiana, no. Nobody's talking Tulane.
And I saw Tulane 3 years ago. Yeah, it was 3 years ago. Had a bowl game, the Armed Forces Bowl. They played Southern Miss, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And it was their coach's first year. And they look pretty solid. I haven't followed them since then. But, I mean, they're doing something this year, obviously.
They're winning games. Enough to get them up to number 17.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's an accomplishment within itself.
Yeah, the committee sees something in them.
Yeah.
But UCF, big win for them. Oh, Gus Malzahn over there doing his thing.
And I got no expectations, so I'm good.
Yeah. Are you going back to Auburn? No. Next question. Then you had Georgia knock off the Mike Leach Bulldogs, 45-19.
Did you see his comment when they asked him at halftime? What do you think of that call? Maybe that should be your answer.
He's great.
Oh,
like the reporter, she knows already. Like, I can't wait for this answer.
Right.
But Georgia doing their thing, man. Just don't give them Missouri 2 weeks in a row,
Yeah.
They'll lose, but then you got Washington upset Oregon 37-34. Pac-12 just beating each other up too, man.
Taking each other down. Yeah. I mean, that sucks for Oregon because that was probably their lone hope to get into the playoff. I don't think USC is going to get in.
No. Oregon's probably TCU's biggest threat of pushing them out of the playoff. Because they'll be like, they lost to Georgia.
Yeah. And, I mean, it's a 25, number 25, but still.
Yeah. Oregon's going to drop big time.
Yeah, I would be shocked if they stay anywhere within the top 12.
Then you had North Carolina beat Wake Forest 36-34. North Carolina, number 15, 9-1. Their lone loss was to Notre Dame. No love, North Carolina.
Mac Brown got them boys going
See, they're doing what they should have did last year when I picked them as my sleeper team.
when they just went 6-6.
Yeah. But yeah, Mac Brown.
It's like they remembered how to play. But,
Wake Forest, another team that just starts off so hot.
And then they peter out. The offense runs out of steam.
Speaking of starting off so hot, Syracuse. Man, getting shut down by Florida State, 30-3. Shout out Florida State, 7-3. Love to see it.
Turning back the hand of time. They're trying to say, Dion, come on over.
Yeah.
We need to go try.
He's going to go win the ACC and go fire him for Dion. It's like, I think Norvell knows. He's like, man, I'm going to get these guys going because they ain't trying to take my job, man. Heck no.
Right. I'm going to win the ACC championship and be like, fire me now. I'm already fired.
But to me, it's like the NBA. You know, when you have the Lakers, the Knicks, the Bulls, the Celtics, you know, doing great, it's great for the league. To me, college football, you have Florida State doing well. When Miami decides to do well, that's great for college football as well.
Right.
These teams like those coming up. Then Utah just quietly beat Stanford 42-7.
Doing Utah things.
Yeah, number 13. And oh man, UCLA losing to Arizona 34-28.
Stupid UCLA.
How dumb can you be when your name's Ukla? Come on now.
Oh, damn Chip Kelly.
I hope they beat USC.
I do too.
Just because. It's mess up everything. But the Pac-12 just beating each other up, man. That's all they're doing.
Freaking Kevin Sumlin. I don't know.
Real quick, I just want to ask this question. The whole Mac Brown thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I read on Twitter if Mac Brown would have stayed on at Texas from the time he got fired or those parted ways, if he would have had 9 straight seasons of his worst year at Texas, he would still have 12 more wins than these other coaches. It's crazy.
And he went out on what, winning 7 games?
8, I think
7 or 8 games.
Yeah, 8-4 was that's not good enough.
I think his worst year. Well, no, I think his worst year was that first year after the national championship when I think they only won. What was it, like 5 games, 4 or 5 games?
Like 5, I think.
Yeah, they missed being bowl eligible by like 1 or 2 games. Mm-hmm. But I think that was his absolute worst year. But after that, he was 6,
19.
7, 8 wins. You know. So.
Oh man, I don't know.
Do you want to rub salt in the wound to the redheaded stepchildren of Texas?
Oh yeah, we got to give our weekly Texas A&M update. Y'all lost to Auburn 13-10. You're 3-7. You're not bowl eligible.
Stay your asses home.
12th man. That's bad, dude.
When you have the number 1 recruiting class and you don't even get bowl eligible.
That's bad. Kansas is bowl eligible.
Mm-hmm.
Vanderbilt has a better record than you.
What was I going to say? They remain the only team in Big 12 to go scoreless in the first half.
Yeah, I saw that stat. That's funny. Them in Kansas. You can't make this up. This is great.
Cadillac Williams getting the win.
Yeah,
in
Cadillac.
His coaching debut.
1-0.
1-0. Was that Ronnie Brown on the sideline with him?
God, it'd be great if it was. I don't know.
I couldn't tell who that was, and I couldn't. hear the announcers exactly what they were saying. But
If it was, that's just great.
Yeah.
Run it back. Come on now.
Yeah.
But yeah, seriously, man. A lot of players like Sam said are going to transfer out of the A&M. It's coming.
Especially when you're getting suspended for wearing sleeves.
That's crazy. That's overkill.
That's just you're finding a reason for guys not to play because
you're losing your locker room. Is what it
is.
You're trying to, hey, I got power here.
Yeah, so you're just setting up a toxic culture is what you're doing. The only people that are going to be there are the people that absolutely their legacy and recruits or students or whatever.
I love it. I just love it.
A&M is about to start experiencing that struggle that Texas and Baylor had for so long.
Yeah. And I'm not going to feel bad about it.
Not in the least bit. Not one bit. Couldn't happen to a better program.
We're going to SEC because we're going to compete against Alabama. Shut up. Look at you.
Stupid. We beat Alabama twice.
Yeah, okay.
We won a Heisman. And where is he now?
Yeah. At least ours is on ESPN commentating, making jokes.
And one just won a game in the NFL. So there you go.
All right. All right. We're going to look at this next week's Big 12 preview for week 12. Yeah. All right. We're starting off with the big one. Got TCU at Baylor. As much as I want to say, hey, guys, we're going to do it. We're going to take off their undefeated season. We're going to play spoiler to them. No. TCU's going to win this game.
Yeah.
Now I'm not even doing reverse psychology. They're going
to Well, should they do the blackout?
No. It's going to be 11 a.m. kickoff.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think that had something to do with it? Do you think they were just psychologically hyped up to do the blackout, and I guess for whatever reason they decided not to do it? Like,
I don't think so, man. I just don't think they were just – they didn't even look crunk or hyped up or nothing. They're just like doing our thing. Get this game out the way. That's all they – you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Now, if they come out next week motivated, hungry, and everything, they might win. But I don't think TCU's good. They smell blood. Then you got Kansas State at West Virginia.
Where's it at?
It's at West Virginia.
I
think Kansas State's going to just be ready to though, man. I think they know what's in front of them.
Yeah. Kansas State. Stick with the purple.
I don't think they're going to blow them out though. It's going to be.
It'll be nip and tuck.
Yeah, it would be. Yeah, the weather is too.
Yeah.
Oh, man, you got Texas at Kansas. Game of the night. Can weather be a factor for that game, do you think, with viewers being in the cold?
It could be if they can't run the football. If Kansas commits to stopping the run and they're able to, then yes, I think it will dramatically affect viewers. But seeing as what Oklahoma was able to do to Kansas by running the ball,
yeah,
I can't.
I'm picking Texas.
Yeah, I can't go against them, so I'm going to pick Texas.
Yeah, especially if Freddie Hall is still there. I mean, he's doing good, but he's not Daniels.
If that defense shows up and plays the way they did against TCU, I don't know. Kansas ain't doing nothing.
Yeah. You got Texas Tech at Iowa State. It's a night game. I'm going Iowa State.
Guns up. I think they get bowl eligible.
Then you got Bedlam. Oklahoma State at Oklahoma.
This is weird not to be the last game of the season.
It's very weird. I think the Big 12 is sticking it to Oklahoma. Screw you. Don't care about this rivalry anyway.
Right.
Can old Gundy do it, man?
Is Spencer Sanders out for a while?
I haven't said. It's like real hush-hush, like week to week.
Some real Belichick type stuff right here.
Yeah, it is.
Mm.
You know what? I'm gonna go with Oklahoma.
I'm going to be the contrarian, and I'm going to say we will not get bowl eligible this week. Oklahoma State.
Should be interesting. Yeah, Spencer Sanders playing. I think the Cowboys will take it, but
Oh yeah, especially Spencer Sanders play. I think they'll win.
yeah,
I think it'll be a much closer and low scoring game if it's Gundy.
it's funny saying that. Well, appreciate y'all joining us today for this college football recap of Week 11. My gosh, going too fast now. We were talking about championship weeks, and
It's almost there.
yeah, pretty wild.
It's I don't want it to end. I want to hit the brakes on the season, but
Can we go back to game 3 here? Come on now.
right.
Can we talk about conference play starting up? Right.
Can we get another 4 or 5 games out of the season?
Something. But yeah, guys, like, subscribe, and do all that good stuff. Comment, hit your notification bell on YouTube channel In Your House Sports. Let your friends know about us. Facebook In Your House Sports. Man, it's going by fast.
Too fast.
Yeah. So, for Manny D,
Your boy Vasos.
peace out.
Peace.